Τώρα θα συνδεθούμε με την Ινδία, όπου βρίσκεται ο κύριος Μπαθίνα, Technical Lead in Insight and Data στο Cloud Data Platform Department του Capgemini και παράλληλα μέντορας μεγάλων IT παγκοσμίων. Ο κύριος Μπαθίνα θα μας μιλήσει για τις επικρατέστερες τάσεις αλλά και τις ευκαιρίες που υπάρχουν αυτή την εποχή στον χώρο του cloud computing. Mr. Bathina, thank you for being with us. The stage is yours.
Hello, Devinas. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Morning to all the attendees. My today's topic is about cloud computing in the digital decade. My previous speakers have spoken a lot about how this decade is going to be a digital decade because of the lots of data that is being generated and also the pandemic situation that had forced the companies, the clients to move to a cloud environment where they can collaborate with their teams no matter wherever they are in the world. Going forward, first I'll talk about myself and then I'll talk about the agenda that I'm going to take it further. I am Anudeep, so I'm working in cloud data platform, especially Microsoft Azure. So I deal with data, any kinds of data, be it be small, big, and we drive the data towards insights on the cloud platform. So I had been associated with the brands that you are seeing right now. Apart from my full-time job, I also do mentoring sessions in the weekends for those IT professionals who wants to upskill to artificial intelligence. So this is about myself and the agenda on which I would like to speak is about what has the cloud to offer to anyone. What's so special about cloud when we already have an on-premise? What types of services does this cloud offer? And how is this cloud protected in this data world? How is my data protected if I keep it in a cloud? That is the major concern that everyone should be having. And my my topic of interest here is cloud as a data platform. I'll speak more about cloud as a data platform and one business use case and an example architecture for you, just to understand on how big tech are moving towards cloud, right? So what does the cloud has to offer? So if anyone who is a novice in cloud technology and who don't know anything about cloud, I would like to draw an analogy and tell you how cloud works. You must have apps, applications on your smartphone. How do you access those apps? So when you connect to the internet, your apps start working. Likewise, your cloud will start working only when you have a stable internet connection. So this is the only requirement from your organization or from an individual who wants to work on cloud, right? So what it has to offer? Cloud is something where we can only pay to what we use. There are no upfront costs, as in you need not have a setup budget for your business to pay in advance. You will have to pay only for the usage that you're gonna do. There's no charge if you have stopped the usage, as in there'll be clusters when it comes to big data. So when you have so many clusters that you might have used in the morning and by night you must have disabled them, so you won't be charged for starting and stopping the clusters. You'll be charged only when you use them. So that is the main advantage of having a cloud. Going further, I'll talk about how it is cost optimizing. So this cloud computing eliminates the capital expense of buying the on-premise servers, the maintenance of the servers that we're gonna do, and any physical security that is required for the servers. All this is maintained by the cloud computing big tech like Microsoft that offers Microsoft Azure, Amazon that offers AWS, IBM offers IBM Cloud, Google offers Google Cloud likewise. So they have their own servers set up in different parts of the world. So there's something called geolocalization of data. So respecting the individual countries' rules, like Europe has its own GDPR rules where you can't take the data of Europe clients or Europe users from Europe and store it in another location on the earth. So that's not possible, right? So likewise, what cloud offers is for you that it has multiple servers in multiple locations across the globe. That's what we are talking about, the global scale. When you are connected to cloud at any part of the world, you can also have a teammate who can work in other part of the world. You both can work on the same application or same aspect just by collaborating over the cloud in by having, the only requirement is that you should have a stable internet. The performance, like, how do you choose cloud when you have on-prem that is performing very well? This might be a question, but cloud has biggest cloud computing services run on a worldwide network. As I said, there are multiple servers in multiple locations which help the performance to be boosted, and the speed at which the cloud computing services are being offered is very vast because of high penetration of internet today. You just look at 20 years ago, are we all using internet? Well, in India, there was no much internet penetration 20 years ago, that which is there right now. So every village here is having a smartphone and people are able to access the internet. So with so much of development in the digital era, the cloud is offering so much of speed for you to compute the necessary loads that you have. Productivity, as I said, when you have teammates from different parts of the world, your productivity will obviously increase because they don't have to depend on the on premise. So if suppose say if you have a on premise in Greece and you want a particular tech person who is in India, you all the way have to put the cost for all the travel and all the living expenses for that person to come to the Greece. But now look at it. Now I can work for you from India just by connecting on cloud. So that is the fetching point. And reliability comes into picture when you are trying to put your data somewhere else. You don't know where you are giving. You're collaborating with some other organization. So how do I rely on such kind of problem? So you don't have to worry on reliability because most of the cloud big techs offer more strong protection from any kind of adverse conditions, be it be weather, be it be physical security, be it be maintenance. Everything is taken care of. You just have to pay for what you use, which is quite comfortable for you to start an organization and go ahead. What are the common characteristics in cloud? As I said, there's a massive scale. You can actually increase your scale at one go. Like, think about it on premise. You suddenly have a high demand. You have got couple of projects which needs a high demand of servers. You will need a lot of capital for you to buy those servers. But when it comes to cloud, you just have to up the tire. Just by a click, you can up the tire, wherein you can gain a massive scale. Resilient computing. Your computing power is limited on your on-premise, but when it comes to cloud, you can adjust it the way you want. Either you can increase it or you can decrease it based on your computing level that is needed. And homogeneity, it's same. So it's same everywhere in the world. No matter what, it doesn't affect your program. And geographic distribution, I just spoke about it. It is distributed all around the globe, and you actually can have couple of things here about data retention. So data, you can actually replicate the data from one geography to another geography. As in, let me give an example. So let's say I have my data in India and also in Greece. I have the same amount of data that I have in India in Greece by replicating it. So if suppose in India, if my servers are damaged by any chance, I have my data protected and replicated in Greece. So this is what your geographic distribution means. And service orientation, you get a lot of support from the companies that are offering cloud. For example, let's say I have a business requirement and I need little tuning of the services that are being offered by Microsoft Azure. So what I can do to it? How can I address this? So this has to be done in the application point of view. I cannot do anything on that. So once that is tuned, I can use this for my business application, business requirement. So you can raise a ticket to cloud support team who will resolve this issue, who will help you with this issue, and they'll also give suggestions on to how as to architect this in such a way that your problem is getting resolved. So such service oriented cloud providers are available right now. And low cost software, as I said, your cost optimization is happening with lots of capital coming down. for not using on-premise. So everything that you can do on cloud is being offered at a low cost. So you can sell the product in a low cost, which means you're gaining a lot of profit. Advanced security, I already spoke about it. So you have a lot of physical security that is being provided. Also, what is there within the cloud is what I have in the next coming in 10 minutes. So let me talk there about the advanced security aspect. What are the essential characteristics that cloud should have? Like on-demand self-service, as I said, on your demand. If you go and click that, I need extra computation, the cloud is giving you. So this is a common and most essential characteristic that any cloud provider is offering. Broad network access, rapid elasticity, and resource pooling, and measured service. So let's say today I define 2 GB of data is required, and I go offline, and my data that is coming in is increasing to 1 more GB. So we would need such service provider who can adjust it. I mean, that elasticity is provided for the data. So such things are available by the cloud providers. Again, coming to what's so special about cloud when we already have an on-premise. Let me give you a point by point analysis on this. Regarding the ease and speed of deployment, the way you can deploy is very easy on cloud, but because all that you need, all the softwares are pre-installed in the cloud, you don't have to use extra software that in your computers, right? For example, if I'm using Visual Studio, that is available in the cloud. If I'm using Git, that is already cloud. So all these cloud hosted software will help us to deploy faster, and we all need minimum infra setup for this to deploy. But when it comes to on-premise, you need to install all the required softwares, you need all the infra that is required, and you need to also maintain them. Like you need to keep updating the softwares also. The level of control, as I said previously, as I have given an example, you can not tweak cloud applications by yourself, right? You will have to raise a support ticket for that. But when it comes to on-premise, it's up to you on how to customize your software that you're installing. Data ownership, this is very critical because you don't want your data to be exposed to any person other than your organization members. So clients will have complete access and ownership of the data for all purposes. Likewise in your on-premise, because it's your own, you're buying it by your own. Global scalability, infra is built and designed and deployed, and it can be deployed across the world. So you have global scalability, but when it comes to on-premise, for you to have that, you have to put in some extra money, which means it is cost specific, right? Coming to cost optimization, so we have a better cost management by avoiding upfront investment that we had been talking about. And disaster recovery, as I said, there is replication of data. There are multiple data centers, and you can actually ensure business continuity in very short span of time. And I just want to give an example here. So one of my team members have deleted the complete code that we had written in Databricks on Azure Cloud, right? So that was very difficult for us because it's like 2 years of efforts being gone just like that. Then we had contacted Microsoft to help recovering the code, and they had helped us. So apart from data retention, I'm also talking about the code that is there in the repository of cloud, right? So such things happen, and how we recover is that with the help of the cloud providers. Going further, I think my previous speakers have talked a lot about this. What types of services does cloud offer? Like it's software as a service. Plain software, like how you use apps on your phone, you just click on the software and use it, like Google Drive, can I say? It's a storage, I can say. Look at Google Docs, you can use it on the go, it's like an app. So that is an example for SaaS. For PaaS, it's platform as a service. This is for Google Drive where you can store it, right? And infrastructure as a service, as in you can actually run virtual machines on your cloud, which is called cloud native kind of stuff. So let me explain to you in specific. So your infrastructure as a service is like basic building blocks of cloud IT, which is like, virtualization, or getting those virtual machines so that you don't have to have extra machines in your IT setup. You must have heard about Docker on your on-premise, which is similar to which is being done similarly in a cloud environment. Platform as a service, it removes the need for us to manage the underlying infrastructure. For example, see, if I have to store the data, let's say 1 TB of data I have, on an on-premise you have to buy the hard disk or whatever it is required, but in your cloud you just have to click it. You just have to define what is needed and you get it on the go, right? And software as a service, as I said, it's a complete product which is run and managed by the service provider, the cloud provider. It is completely managed and run. Okay, you don't have, I mean, there's nothing that you should be coding there. So so these are broadly how this is classified. Well, talking about these, you must have understood how cloud has, from past 10 years, it has been improving itself in terms of security, in terms of services that are being offered, right? So here are some of the examples that I had brought in for you to understand whether you can relate or not. So application focused, like the services that are there, like Alexa, Google Maps, PayPal. So these are software as a service. And applications like cloud-based software that eliminates the need for a local installation, like Google Apps, and you have one Microsoft online, Outlook and all those documents that you can do online. Next, development. Software development platforms where you can create your own software, custom-based software applications. So what is a platform? As I said, cloud-based platform where they bring you virtualization like Amazon ECC, SunGrid, etc. Storage, data storage like your Amazon S3. You have Azure Data Lake, which is very famous. Next is hosting. Physical data centers such as those run by IBM, HP, etc. So you can actually host. So these are infrastructure focused services that, for an example. Well, coming to services, I'm just giving you the top two service providers, AWS and Azure. So for data warehousing, you have SQL Data Warehouse, Redshift. Big data processing, you have EMR in AWS. Azure has Azure Databricks. Likewise, for each purpose, like virtualization, you have QuickSight and visualization. For visualization, you have QuickSight and Power BI. I hope everyone knows what is Power BI. It's a reporting tool. And virtual servers, you have EC2 in AWS, and you have Azure. In Azure, you have virtual machines. And you can go serverless by using Lambda, and in Azure you can use Azure functions likewise, as I mentioned about storage and stuff. So these are the different services that are being offered by the big tech providers. And this is the whole examples that I have for infrastructure as a service, cloud software, software as a service, and platform services. Hope just to give you an example, you have for Amazon EC2 to compute, like for infrastructure as a service. Coming to cloud software, for data you have Oracle Coherence, and for compute you have Globus Toolkit. Likewise, there are many tools and softwares that are being offered by the cloud service providers. Now, what are the types of deployment that we have in cloud? One is public, private, and hybrid. I think my previous speaker had spoken more about the hybrid and also touched about public and private. So I'm just showing you how it happens. So there might be a requirement wherein you as an organization, you don't want to disclose the certain data. Even you are sure that cloud is very secure, but still you don't want to do that. You wanted to save all the information in a private network. Yes, you can do that and then connect to a cloud and make it a hybrid environment. Likewise, also, in cloud, you can collaborate with multiple services in different cloud providers. Let's say you have Azure Databricks in use in your Azure, and you have AWS S3 Amazon Web Services. So you can actually collaborate and connect these two in such a way that you can do what is required to solve your business problem, right? So this is
Martina.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to inform you that time is running out and we only have 1-2 minutes left.
Sure. I'm winding up. Yeah, I'm winding up. So, how does the modern data estate look like in a Microsoft offering? It looks like this. You have SQL Server, and this is an on-premise, and you have Azure Data Services, where you can, connect them as a hybrid service, right? Now, how is the cloud protected? This is the major doubt that anyone would have. So, everything that you're storing in data is encrypted, and it is not like you can't decrypt your data. Hackers can do that. So for that reason, you have to make sure that you are doing the necessary security procedures at your end to save your data, right? Cloud as a data platform, you can do data storage, you can do ETL, you can do big data engineering, business intelligence and reporting, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. I'm just showing you an architecture about what you can do. Suppose there's a data source which is your on-premise network, and you want to go migrate to a cloud. You ingest that data into a storage blob and use Azure Synapse to store it. And you can use any analysis services and bring the output to a visualization, so as to make sure that your managers understand what data is trying to convey. You can actually drive to insights. Likewise, this is another architecture which is trying to take use of different services of Azure Data Factory, which helps to ingest the data from the sources, do ETL that is necessary in Azure Databricks, and use it for different analysis purposes. Finally, one business use case. I just wanted to wind up in a minute, guys. Just give me 1 minute. So what is the business use case is that modernizing Twitter. I hope everyone knows Twitter. Twitter is a microblogging site. Your Twitter ad engagement analytics platform. Basically, Twitter wants to understand how the users are engaging with different ads. So first, what they have done with the help of Google Cloud, they have done migration only to a certain level. They have kept the aggregations for themselves, and they had given the final output of the data to the Google Cloud. Being very much satisfied with what cloud is offering, they went ahead and moved everything to the cloud. So everything that is coming out from Twitter is directly going into the cloud. They are processing it and getting insights, guys. So these are the applications of cloud as a native applications, cloud native applications, and how you can use cloud for from very basic applications to until artificial intelligence. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bathina. Thank you for all the useful information and knowledge that you transferred to us.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being with us today. Unfortunately, as of now, we don't have any questions, but you can stay in the conference in the hopping section so the audience can find you and ask you any questions.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Εν συνεχεία θα επανέλθουμε στην ελληνική αγορά και θα παρακολουθήσουμε μία από κοινού παρουσίαση του κύριου Παναγιώτη Κουρή, Διευθύνων Σύμβουλο της Office Line, και του κύριου Ελευθέριου Χρυσανθίδη, Διευθυντή Πληροφορικών Συστημάτων του Ομίλου Αχιώδων, όπου θα μας περιγράψουν την εμπειρία τους από τη μετάβαση στο cloud. Κύριοι, ο λόγος σε εσάς.
Καλημέρα. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ για την πρόσκληση. Εγώ είμαι ο Παναγιώτης ο Κουρής, είμαι διευθύνος σύμβουλος από την Office Line, είναι μαζί μας και ο κ. Λευτέρης Χρυσανθίδης, είναι διευθυντής πληροφορικών συστημάτων του.
అమ్మయ్యా అయిపోయింది. ఆ యాక్టోడు ఇది నెట్వర్క్ క్లోజ్ చేశాడు. ఏం లేదు, సూపర్ జరిగింది. అదంట ఇలా ఉండాలంట, అందుకని ఎన్ని పాటలు అయిపోయింది.